I was scrolling on Instagram the other day and I saw this quote that said, "The way I hid my trauma behind good behavior, shyness, and people pleasing as a kid. People thought I was an angel, but really I was terrified to have a personality, so I chose obedience." A lot of you are hiding your true authentic self behind unresolved trauma. Your fear of being seen is your inner child begging to be healed. A lot of us were not given the chance to be our true and authentic self because society did not allow us to be, especially as women. We can't be super outspoken because if we are, we'll be seen as dominant or annoying. We can't speak our minds because we are seen as trying to be defiant and against our quote unquote role in society. We can't be argumentative or we are giving off masculine energy or being a bitch. But when a man does it, oh, it's fine. He is a leader. He is a masculine. That is just how men are. So none of this was your fault. This is just how you were raised. You were just taught to be obedient. Don't stand out, smile and look pretty, and don't cause too much commotion. None of us were ever given a chance to be our true authentic self. We're never given the chance to build our own personalities because anytime you tried to express yourself, you were shut down, ignored, invalidated, and told to be quiet. But there was one day, I just got so sick and tired of being known as just the nice, pretty girl, the easily forgotten person, the person who doesn't want to ruffle any feathers. I wanted to stand out from the crowd. But I realized in order for me to do that, you have to go back in time to the little girl who didn't have a voice. The little girl who just stood in the back of the crowd because she didn't want to be seen. She wasn't allowed to be seen. I went back in time to that little girl that I once was. And I did that through meditation. I was maybe 8 years old and I saw her on the floor playing with her imaginary friends. She had a lot of imaginary friends that she used to play with. It was her safe space because her imaginary friends couldn't hurt her. You know, she was able to be herself, her true authentic self without judgment. You know, she was able to speak without being shut down. So I walked over to her and I sat beside her and, you know, I got on my knees. Obviously, this is through meditation. And I told her, I am sorry. I am sorry you had to hide. I am sorry the world hurt you at such a small age. But we don't have to hide anymore. We will keep each other safe. I promise I won't dim our shine anymore. And then she turned to me and said, and this was exactly what I would have said when I was younger. She turned to me and said, "What if they don't like us? What if we get in trouble for being ourselves?" And I responded, "Then we will walk through the fire together. We will not hide anymore. The world will hear us. The world will see us. And I'll make sure of that, I promise." So from now on, everything I do is for that little girl. The little girl who had no voice. The girl who hid behind shyness and people pleasing out of fear of being hurt if she stepped out of line. The little girl who couldn't express herself or say how she felt because if she did, she got shut down. It's all for her, and I'll be damned if I let her down again. So the first thing you need to do is apologize to that little girl in you. Not because any of it was your fault. It's not your fault that this is just how society raised you, but apologize that she had to go through it. Apologize that she had to go through it alone and scared, and I need you to make a promise to her. A promise that you cannot break. A promise that whatever happens, whatever trials we go through, we will be okay. And when you walk through life, you walk hand in hand with that little girl, and she is going to be right beside you every step of the way, smiling up at you, looking up to you because you are doing what she was not allowed to do, what she couldn't do, what she was too scared to do, which was be seen. Your inner child is begging to be healed. Stop hiding her. Next is stop trying so hard to be understood by others and get better at learning to understand yourself. I am so tired of people saying, "Oh, I'm just so misunderstood. Nobody understands me." Okay, who cares if they don't understand you? Who cares if they don't understand what it is that you are trying to do with your life? A lot of people don't even understand themselves. Not everyone is meant to understand you. Your moves will be misunderstood by those who are not meant to follow you on your journey. And that's okay. They don't need to understand where you're going. They don't need to understand anyone else's journey but their own. Everything I do, everything I say, everything I think, I ask myself, why am I like this? Why am I watching these TV shows? Why am I listening to this violent music? Why do I have these negative thoughts? Why do I have such a limited mindset? Why am I not able to break free from unfulfilling relationships? And oftentimes trauma shows up in your life through toxic relationships, difficulty of trusting others, needing to be perfect, and not being able to set boundaries. So when you are able to ask yourself questions as to why you are doing the things you do, or why you think the way you do, or why you put up with so much crap from other people, you get a better understanding of why you are the way you are. You can't expect others to understand you when you don't even understand yourself. Next is be your own safe space. So that way when the world wants to hurt you, you can run back to yourself. I talk to myself every day, whether it be through, through my mind or through journaling or through meditation. But when you find your safe space in yourself, then whatever is happening outside of you, regardless of what people say, regardless of what people think of you, whatever is happening in your physical home is not going to change anything about the home you have created in yourself. You create a safe space for yourself when you no longer speak negatively to yourself. You create a safe space for yourself when you no longer compare yourself to every other person who is pretty or more successful than you. You get enough mess from the world we live in. Don't destroy the home within yourself. Wrap yourself in love and validation and surround yourself with good, loving people who will add to your life instead of taking away from it. Next is, a lot of people benefited from me being small. I used to have friends where if I ever tried to dress up or wear jewelry or wear high heels, they would tell me, "Oh, Devin, take that off. You're doing too much. Who are you trying to impress?" And like a stupid idiot, I used to take it off. And I would dress more casual around them because I didn't want them thinking I was trying too hard or trying to stand out. And who was suffering in the end? Who was dimming their own light in the end? Me. But it had nothing to do with me and everything to do with that they had insecurities and now they were projecting that onto me. They were at war with themselves, okay? Because I represented everything that they were not able to achieve. But back then, I thought I was the problem. I thought I was the person who was always in the wrong. But then I realized the only person's opinions that matters is myself. I am the only person who has walked through my eyes. Nobody was there for me when I went to bed. Nobody was there for you when you woke up. Nobody was there for you in that toxic relationship. And nobody was protecting you from your own mind. It was all you. So the only person that you should be trying to impress is yourself. Start impressing yourself. Start dressing for yourself. Start showing up in this world as yourself. You do not have a fear of being seen. You have a fear that people are going to see that you're actually trying to be somebody in this world and that people might see you fail. So is it really a fear of being seen, or is it just a fear of struggling, fear of failure, fear of being cringy or embarrassing, fear that others will not like you or what it is that you bring to the table? Let me tell you something. There is always going to be someone who doesn't like you. There is always going to be someone who isn't going to like what you bring to the table. There is always going to be someone out there judging you no matter what you say or do. So you can either choose to accept this fact and move on with your life, or you can spend it worrying about what the next person thinks of you. Because at the end of the day, that person is going to move on with their life. While you're sitting here replaying everything they have done and said to you, there are people out here who do and say what they want. They don't feel bad for it. They are just living their life. They're just living their best life regardless. And people accept them because people are looking for some type of authenticity. People want you to be real with them. You are not insane because you go through hardship and trials, because a lot of people also go through it too. They just want someone who is going to relate to them. And that's the thing. When you are yourself, you will attract your tribe, and you will realize that you are not alone. You will realize, especially as women, we go through a lot of the same hardship. So by dimming your own true authentic self, you are preventing yourself from being around like-minded people. And when you portray to try to be this different person, you are going to attract people who are also fake. Next is, I've trained myself to fear not being successful more than I have a fear of being seen. I would rather look cringy and embarrassing versus sitting around not doing anything and not being successful or not doing anything with my life. Because if I allow my fear to take over and not allow me to reach my highest potential, then what am I doing? Because it's either one or the other. I either succumb to my fear of being seen, or I can hide in my bedroom all day and be lazy and not do anything with my life. Next is, nobody cares about you more than they care about themselves. People have their own life. People have their own struggles. People are not checking for you as much as you think they are. You think people are just going to judge you when you walk into a room, or that person taking your order at the restaurant is looking at you cringy or like that you're weird. Nobody cares. People are just so concerned about themselves. They don't notice all the little things that you notice. People only care about what you can do for them and how you make them feel. For me, I don't get embarrassed because embarrassment is an emotion I choose not to feel. I honestly can't really think of one situation where I remember someone else embarrassing themselves, but I can think of 1,000 situations where I embarrassed myself. But honestly, probably nobody even remembers. Nobody cares to remember. People just see things that you do and they move on with their lives. They continue to live their lives, and you are not even a thought in their imagination. Who gets to define what is embarrassing? You living your life, you being human, you being yourself is not embarrassing. Embarrassment is a choice. Embarrassment is an emotion, and you can make the choice to never feel this emotion again. Next is, get comfortable with being uncomfortable. You have to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. Success lies in being uncomfortable. When you are in a place of comfort, you feel safe. Nobody can hurt you. You know, it's familiar. Nobody can judge you. But guess what? Nobody's going to notice you either. And one of the worst things that can happen is being forgotten and not making your mark in the world when you pass away. Because you were brought on this earth for a reason. There is a purpose for why you were here. The universe brought you here for a reason. God brought you here for a reason. People think they just so happen to land on this earth for no other reason than just being here. You were given a specific assignment and specific mission that only you can fulfill. Never doubt this. Anyways, Diamond Girls, that is it for today. I hope you all have a beautiful rest of your day that is filled with love. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment, and I'll see you in the next video.